That sounds really fake. Yeah.
Near the end of 2019, Birdie entered another relationship with a user known as Julian, and their
Don't you hate it when you're physically grabbed instead of held in place with telekinesis like a normal person? Yeah, hate when that happens.
relationship would persist throughout most of 2020. It's at this point that the harassment towards Heimgoods reached its absolute peak.
Holy shit, all caps! Shanks sees an innocent little girl and talks about her childhood and how I ruined it, blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. I met you. If I met you, I'd shove your face in a blender. Fuck you. You fuck. You fuck. You're not fucking special and you're not fucking innocent. Oh, little girl, you manipulated me. You're actually an adult girl. And many others. And made me and other people do sexual shit for you. Fuck you. I hope you die. Fuck you. Okay.
And alt accounts. There were many messages containing graphic discussion of Heim's body and messages about wanting to torture Heimgoods for several months.
I used to fantasize about having someone, mostly Heim, against the wall, holding a thing around their neck, and I press the button and stab them. That is definitely unhealthy.
Birdie would also say he was intentionally trying to use the Birdie name to subtly manipulate Heim's emotions, and in around late 2019...
Very sane and normal and decent.
Posted vents which traced over nudes that Heimgoods had sent him when he was...
Imagine the next message to that being, oops, caps lock, sorry guys. You know what? Would have been funny. Oops, didn't mean to fight that all in caps.
13. Birdie's hateful obsession with Heim would extend to whatever he liked publicly, when he posted...
What? Panty and stocking? That doesn't fit the later thing.
Drawing based on the anime Panty and Stocking, Birdie would post a drawing killing the characters. Same thing with My Little Pony, like we mentioned before. In fact, there was an entire series of drama and harassment because Heimgoods posted about the fictional character Rayman, and that infuriated Birdie.
Not Rayman!
Because he was a fan of Rayman, which inspired a whole
oh god damn it, not Rayman.
lot of harassment. Birdie would also start remaking both Torturing Birdie and I Dropped My Tortilla.
Not gonna lie though, the storyline to I Dropped My Tortilla is kinda interesting. No, it's not. Despite it being my disturbing fantasy about kidnapping Heim and killing all her friends.
Yeah, this is probably not even an extensive list of everything.
Birdie discovering Panty and Stocking was a mistake. Just like Undertale. Just like Rayman. Just like the Five Nights at Freddy's. Just like everything Birdie discovered. Ever.
That Birdie did. Keep in mind that as far as we know, Heim only went near Birdie's level of harassment once, and that was in early 2019 when he would send friend requests with cryptic messages associated with a hack. But we're comparing Heim's instances over 3 months to Birdie doing it for around 2 years. Birdie can state that he's the victim of Heim and all this was the public being misled, but it's hard to believe that when he was actively also misleading the public.
Oh. Okay, are you willing to spam Heim for the Rayman thing? Okay, it's okay if not. I don't have any alt emails for it. Also, I feel like Caps would question me again. Is anyone here willing to do? Getting other people to harass them. Okay, gotcha.
Him and his friends doxed Heimgoods and spammed his name anywhere they could. And then Birdie posted a DeviantArt statement straight up lying and saying that he wasn't doxing Heim, and it was so tiring having to deal with these false statements. Birdie's relationship with Julian was going fairly well for about the first half of the year, but things began to take a change when Birdie introduced another person to this relationship
Hashtag free Rayman.
known as Jay. Julian's issues against Birdie began to rack up.
Deadwing Dork said that Birdie turned her entire personality into brands and games that he was obsessed with. I fully believe that. Yeah, from what I've seen so far, yeah, it fits. You know, it's like when you had a favorite character back then and you were like, yeah, it's gonna be just like them. It's just like me, for real. They're so me.
He didn't feel particularly good about opening up his relationship to be polyamorous, and as time went on, he began to feel like the neglected party. There was even an entire period where Julian felt Birdie would just use him for sexual purposes, when he was far more interested in Jay romantically. So why wouldn't he do the sexual stuff with Jay? Well, Jay wasn't particularly interested in it at all, and at numerous points when Jay didn't want to do Discord ERP, Birdie would get depressed and make several vents about it. A bit overdramatic, I'd say, but...
I can't believe you don't want to do the sexy stuff with me. That's crazy.
hey, we're talking about Discord ERP, and that seems about right.
You don't want to Discord ERP with me. You hate me. Oh no.
Number of personal arguments, Birdie and Julian would break up in late 2020. Julian would then get into more petty back and forth with Birdie, and after an incident in which Birdie faked his death to Julian as a prank, Julian decided to leak a bunch of stuff from his relationship with Birdie.
Why is everyone faking their death? Where?
The worst of these leaks was, of course, the ferret incident, where the public finally found out that—
Okay, dude, I'm gonna goon a VC with you. Thank you, Quantum. Imagine venting about not being to ERP with someone online. You don't wanna goon in VC with me, I hate you.
Birdie tried to fuck his ferret. It was mentioned in these DMs whilst both people were revealing their biggest secrets, and its publication caused a lot of backlash. Birdie responded by confirming the secret was real, it did happen, he deeply regretted it, and it affected—
I'm about to fake my own death for tax purposes. No, what's ERP? Jacob, is that a real question? ERP is when you roleplay sexually. In text form.
affected his life horribly. But it's at this point where we're gonna pause. While Birdie can say that the incident with his ferret Chara was affected by him being groomed by a 30-year-old man, that cannot be applied for his treatment of his ferret overall. Sexual stuff completely aside, valid questions were raised about Birdie as a pet owner. Birdie had stated before that Chara was fairly unhealthy because of his family's financial status, but I'm pretty sure having maggots and fly eggs in your ferret's cage—
Yeah, it also doesn't help. God, the poor ferret. They've gone through so much in the short time they were alive.
indicates a lot more than just finances. It does not cost that much to just clean a cage. And if there are so many flies in your room with you and your ferret that you start constantly drawing yourself surrounded by them, something's up. Speaking of Chara's cage, people speculated that
if only you had a video where she reads ERP. Oh yeah, Jacob, if you want to know what an ERP is, just watch my last video. The ferret is free from suffering now. Yeah, at least that. At least that.
It was also too small for her size, and poor diet and lack of nutrients may have been leading to her fur constantly changing and degrading in colour. It began to turn lighter, her tail fur wasn't growing back, she was losing a lot of her brown markings. How about Birdie talking about petting his ferret and feeling her ribs, or saying that she always pooped when Birdie gave her baths, or a picture of Birdie throwing his ferret? As far as—
What? Excuse me?
She always pooped when Birdie gave her baths, or a picture of—
For clarification in YouTube, this is Birdie throwing his ferret down at the sofa. It's not severe on its own, but it adds to the pattern of behavior. Bruh.
Birdie throwing his ferret. As far as we know, very little action was taken in response to any of these claims. There was some in June 2019 where Birdie finally cleaned Chara's cage, gave her some
one time the cage was cleaned.
food and vitamins, and took her out of the
Hey, thanks for subscribing, Lucario Kitty.
cage. But flip forward to around 6 months on, and Birdie hadn't let Chara out of the cage since then. Chara the ferret died in November 2022, and was
Bro, what is the death grip on that ferret?
cremated with her ashes being put into an urn. We have no idea how Chara was treated beyond the window into it that we have, but if Birdie
At least we know the cage was cleaned a singular time.
accidentally leaving her ashes behind after moving out of someone's house is anything to go by, it probably wasn't that good. Returning to late 2021, Birdie and Julian would continue to fight over the next few months.
Third grade insults don't hurt me, toddler. At least I'm not 16. At least I'm not a bratty 14-year-old who wants to... everyone in a 30-mile radius. Are you even 14? Gosh. You could even pass as a 10-year-old. Did you ever go to school? At least I'm not a 16-year-old who doesn't act his age.
At some point, Birdie was in a group chat and made fun of Julian by describing as nudes. In response, Julian just straight up leaked Birdie's nudes.
Oh.
Birdie would go on his server and post a bunch of very unhinged messages and threats towards Julian. Julian would then make several accounts to spam Birdie's social. Whilst this was going on, Birdie was still dating Jay, and their relationship is shown through the volume of art he made about it, cataloguing every month, as well as the
Oh, God, I can't. This is also cringe.
plushies and the pony art. However, what really happened is up in the air. After getting out of the relationship, Jay would accuse
I don't want to hear about teenagers dating.
Birdie of abuse. Jay said that Birdie would isolate them from their interests, friends, and had to cut off his personality and become a different person, all to please Birdie. Birdie has since stated that his breakup with Jay was one of the worst experiences of his life, and that it sent him into another psychotic break. But Birdie has also said that he feels super bad for how he was gross to Jay. For the rest of the year, Birdie would post more depressed art about Jay and how—
You never loved me. Well, too bad, dude. God damn it, Cloudy. Do you want to talk about it? I don't think you're a monster. I'm still in love with my ex. Which one? I resent for being in love with him. Please don't tell anyone.
How he was still attracted to him, which definitely made Jay feel weird. In fact, at some point later during 2021, Birdie also attempted to unironically make a love potion spell from TikTok so that Jay would get back together with him. On May 11th, 2021, Birdie entered his next relationship with someone known as Draggy, which—
Oh, was Draggy the other minor who groomed them? As they said in their fucking I'm back video. Not the love potion spell. Listen, I can't trash the teenager love potion spell, okay? I can trash many things, but not that.
lasted a total of 4 days. Draggy was around 13 years old when he and Birdie, a 16-year-old, began dating, although they had been friends prior and would continue to be friends for a bit after. From this relationship came the absolute gem from Birdie. I think you're pretty mature for your age. That's
the sentence. The sentence. Love potion spell at 3 AM. Yay! Not the you're pretty mature for your age. Oh.
one of the reasons I've considered you as a viable option for a partner. You don't seem like the kind of person who would give up when things get hard. Birdie would bring up several topics and videos that a lot of people agree should not be discussed with a 13-year-old. This includes Birdie talking about and sending NSFW, discussing a dream about SA, discussing NSFW titles on videos, and sending uncensored rape porn in a group chat with Draggy. Following the short relationship, Birdie said that he broke it off because he didn't want to hurt Draggy, and that he was selfish and decided to try dating Draggy whilst he was in a wrong state of mind. He then denied that he said he ever felt guilty for the relationship, and has since accused Draggy of being a sadistic attention seeker who made the decision to date him. Many people who have since learned of this incident have accused Birdie of grooming, and I'm not surprised people have this view, nor do I really blame them for coming to
was job interview victims. Oh no.
Such a conclusion. The fact that Birdie has since responded, saying that Draggy, a 13-year-old, actually groomed him instead, is such a stupid argument that has just strengthened the case against him. Months before, Birdie also befriended another 13-year-old named Nessa whilst he was
Stay away from the 13-year-olds, god damn it.
16, and without even asking for their age, he sent them
How hard is it to stay away from fucking children? I get it, 13 and 16. God, I hate this topic. But yeah, Jake can't make the argument that he was groomed into doing this with the minors, with the other teenagers, with the younger teenagers.
Angled NSFW of the girls from Doki Doki Literature Club. After he learned—
God damn it, of course it's Doki Doki Literature Club. Fuck me. Every goddamn unhinged fandom. Birdie was like, yeah, that's so me.
To their age, Birdie continues to talk about SH and was friends with them as recently as 2023, where they were still talking about sexual topics. During 2021, a familiar face had also reared its head, someone who you might recognize by the name of Cindy
Is it Cindy? Yeah, it's Cindy.
03. Much like Birdie, Cindy Bear had started as a young Sans fangirl making animations. This is hinted at in her old name, Scootaloo Love Sans. Unlike Birdie, Cindy had had nowhere near as much drama and seemed to be a genuinely talented artist who was going to make it
truly is always Doki Doki.
Beyond the pit of dregs in the animation meme community. Cindy and Birdie had an on and off friendship throughout the years, mostly from Cindy desperately trying to be friends with Birdie. During 2020 and 2021, Cindy would start to have a crush on Birdie, made a plushie of his character, and
why is it always when they find someone they like, they immediately become obsessed over them? It's not ever like, oh, you know, I like this person. I like their content. I like their personality. Always like, I will draw all the out of them. I want to rape them. I want to kidnap them. I want to have them. I want to eat the beans out of my hands.
Through several pieces of art, including an entire hand-drawn comic about Birdie essaying her. This was all
great.
very weird to the public.
Always. Always. I swear to God.
Considering that she was in a relationship with someone else at the time.
I'm obsessed with bullying, dude. Gotta try harder than that.
And also everyone saw Birdie as a psychotic freak who had harmed so many people, so there was a significant amount of backlash towards Cinny. She would later make a video clarifying she didn't support Birdie's most egregious actions, and was even against him doxing Heimgoods, but felt that Birdie was still young and had a lot to learn.
It goes from 0 to put the lotion on the skin real quick. Yeah, it always do. I like you, do. When you are asleep, I slip out from the yard and sniff you. That's fine. That's totally fine. That's fine, Quantum. You're allowed to. Why is it always SA? I don't know. I don't know why. I ask myself that question every day.
But little did she know that Birdie would reach
because I all have a very romanticized idea about it.
Mere days later. During May of 2021, Birdie would join an online group known as DiCE.
Oh, the cutting cult. DiCE is the what cutting cult. I'm really curious to hear about that.
Often described as a cult, DiCE was essentially an online group of kids dedicated to bringing the worst out of each other, a Discord server hierarchy numbering in hundreds of members, where people were often encouraged to harm themselves, harm others, and indulge in degeneracy. The group began with its creator and leader, Mortis, a 15-year-old from Ireland that created DiCE as a splinter off
Buckle into, you're not ready? I'm so ready.
Of another larger group named Trash Cult. Mortis was obsessed with Birdie during 2020 and 2021, even being one of his many
my parent plans right now are dating Birdie and abusing him, forcing him to use poly again, and obsess over him, and threaten him with rape? Animal abuse. Keep on bullying Gio, causing him to killing himself, maybe? Can't say this one. Oh, you can't say this one. Okay, gotcha.
Impersonators, and it was during May 2021.
However, Birdie is still friends with Mortis, and she doesn't care about the fact Mortis did his dog. It's always the dog. I'd say I'm good friends with Mortis. Also, no, I didn't hear about that, but if it were true, I think he would tell me, because he told me about the bad things he really did. Yeah.
One, that they became friends despite her many disgusting actions.
I saw that one picture of you, I guess, doing your dog. What happened with
There's a picture of it. Don't tell me it's a German Shepherd.
that? Is that, like, real legit shit?
Well, I haven't done it for, like, years.
So,
I haven't done it for years. I swear. That's not the answer. That's not the answer here, you fuck. God. Take a swim in the air from the top of a very high building, please. I haven't done it for years.
you admit to.
I don't know, Günther. Apparently it's very hard to not talk to minors or touch animals.
Yeah, I do. Well, sometimes when I look at my dog, I just feel bad. I don't know. It makes me feel gross, but at the same time, I still like that sort of stuff.
The group itself has a far bigger and more disgusting history that will not be discussed.
Sophia, 16. I am girl. Just she, her. I'm cis and straight. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so boring. I don't have any interest or anything at the moment. My only personality trait is blood. So edgy.
And this, as we're only going to take a look at Birdie's involvement. And you might be surprised because it's a lot more than Birdie lets on. To this day, Birdie has said that he was in a bad mental.
I'm just gonna punch Trent. I'm gonna straight up fuck her, fucking gut her, and serve all her organs to us so we can have a feast.
Mental state when he went into this cult, and that he was only there for around 2 weeks, which is technically true, but his impact whilst in DiCE is a
Sure thing. She would constantly dox Mike so often, thinking it was funny. Oh. Hi, my name is Mike, and I have an STD. Haha. This is a quote by someone here. This is a quote. Quote by Birdie. I have been STDs. I mean love getting my censored soulmate. Pubic eyes in the house tonight. Sexy lady. Animation meme. Okay.
A lot more than he lets on to this day. Earlier this year, an account by the name of Cherry came out with screenshots accusing Birdie, who was 16, of being.
Oh. When Jack was in DiCE, he was in a GC with me and a couple other DiCE members. In this GC, he encouraged us to self-harm and gave tips, etc. He also sent pictures of his self-harm. He was 16, I was 12. This is while he was grooming Draggy.
An account by the name of Cherry came out with screenshots accusing Birdie, who was 16, of being in group chats with 12-year-olds and encouraging them to SH. This included pictures, tips on how to do it effectively, and videos.
Yeah, this is the point where I don't care anymore, because like, haha, they were a cringe weird 16-year-old. With 16-year-olds you know better when you are around 12-year-olds that you don't teach children how to cut properly.
Another account by the name of Edward expressed that Birdie joining the server and talking about it publicly had only led more people to join the server and get harmed themselves. Related to this as well, a year after leaving DiCE, so in 2022, Purple and Draggy would operate a Sting account posing as an 11-year-old girl named Olive, trying to ensnare Birdie as a pedo. What they did get is Birdie asking someone they believe to be an 11-year-old that they should still draw gore and cannibalism art. There is simply no excuse for the fact that Birdie was exposing this stuff directly to people much younger than him, and the fact that it was being normalized when Birdie came back as an adult just adds to this.
Yeah, and that only makes it even more insane that Birdie came back, like, what was it, 1 or 2 years ago, and be like, yeah, hey, so, this minor groomed me. I actually did not much wrong here. I was actually always the victim. It only makes it even more insane to me. Also, if you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe for more pain.
Following his involvement with DiCE, Birdie would mostly leave the public eye for the next 3 years, due to intervention from his parents after one of Birdie's siblings had an internet addiction. Ironic,
I know Deep Sea Monster, that's what I just said.
considering I imagine Birdie would be the prime example when looking for that, but sure, okay. Now, a lot of the information in this segment mainly comes from Birdie's video I'm Back, that explains his side of everything. So again, take it with a pinch of salt, we don't have much of the other side. By the time that Birdie had broken up with Jay, he says that he began to deteriorate. He notes that his parents once swarmed into the basement and yelled through the door of his
I Mirrored Hughes saw this on feed and thought, I haven't been in enough pain today. Then welcome to more pain.
bedroom for an hour whilst he was hiding, saying that Birdie was lazy and faking depression to be a victim. After that, they cut off the internet, which led to another psychotic break for months. Birdie would later be diagnosed with psychosis or schizospec in September 2023. It's still unclear.
I really want to know what they actually have been, if they actually have been diagnosed with anything aside from maybe autism. Because they changed it so much from psychosis to to BPD and other things. No, just give me all the diagnoses. I need one diagnosis for every excuse I could need.
I don't know which one.
I love Spain minus the S.
On one instance, Birdie claimed that he tried to end it all, and his parents refused to give medical attention and threatened to call the police because he was threatening them to take him to the hospital. Birdie eventually got his internet back through loopholes and decided to finally start studying for a job.
Yeah, they sure have something, but question is always self-diagnosed, or do they actually know what's wrong and how to treat it?
But at the beginning of 2023, his parents just decided to randomly kick him out as he was 18 now. No reason provided than just his age, according to Birdie. So he then had to go live with his grandma. Now initially his grandma was accepting of him, but issues arose because Birdie would
Birdie doesn't have diagnosis, they are the diagnosis. I diagnose you with Birdie.
wake up to go to school on his own or do his homework himself at age 18.
Yeah, listen, Grandma was also very abusive because they expected Birdie to go to school. and to get up early. Crazy, right? I know. It's fucking crazy. And also what I find very questionable with how Birdie described their grandma and then but only showed some messages of the grandma. The granny was actually really nice. And they were like, yeah, and after that they said mean things, but of course had no evidence for that, so that makes me also a bit suspicious.
There's a plethora of disorders cited along this, including an undiagnosed heart condition, but some of these issues seem totally on Birdie. At one point he talks about the fact that he had to just bring in a laptop to school and do his work on the corner, but if he forgot to bring his laptop, he wouldn't be able to do anything. He paints
Yeah, the teacher didn't have a laptop for me. Yeah, I wonder if it's the same grandma who was willing to just give Birdie and Cindy a freaking beach house. Yeah. Wasn't that an aunt? I could have sworn that was the aunt. Like, bruh.
himself as the victim in this and the staff neglecting him, but I just have to ask.
Oh no, was it the other grandma? No, that was the other grandma, I think.
Who on earth forgets to bring a heavy-ass laptop, especially when it's the one thing they need to bring? Over time...
Listen, I didn't take my laptop with me because I didn't want to, and the school didn't give me another laptop. Like, damn.
Birdie's grandma started to get sick of him and became more aggressive. She accused him of being manipulative, Birdie said she was being verbally abusive, and this led to Birdie getting kicked.
Yeah, here, that is the message. How they said that Graham was very abusive towards them. Could I have all of the chocolate chip Cliff Bars? This is while Birdie claimed they were starving. So, of course they asked their grandma, could I have all of the chocolate chip Cliff Bars? And the water seasoning, because those are the most important things you could want while you are apparently starving. I bring that stuff and your blanket flag. I bring your flag. Clothes, hamper, hangers later this evening. I'll stop off at Costco and get a big box of Cliff Bars. Let me know what time you're free, time later. Yeah, that sounds like a mean granny. Also, your parents don't blame. Oh, what was this message? Oh, we don't know. And then later, when they were thrown out again, you say your parents can't handle you. Nobody can handle you. I think you need to put some work into trying not to be so much to handle. You burned your bridges here. Telling people you didn't feel safe here was incredibly underhanded and hurtful. If you don't want to get kicked out, you should talk to Nana and Jean about what you can do to deserve to stay there. What do they need to see from you? How can you prove yourself? Are you willing to try? Or ask the shelter owner for help and put in more effort there. At least you wouldn't be homeless. Which all sounds very reasonable from Graham.
Kicked out and staying at a homeless shelter. During a stay at the homeless shelter, this was also apparently hell on earth, as the water was dirty and people swatted and pizza bombed the place. Birdie was then picked up from the shelter by his nana and lived in her house with his husband. He got a room.
Oh yeah, that was the nana. True, the other one was Graham. Graham was the one who bought the Cliff Bars. Nana was the one with the beach house.
Garage, but apparently.
Hi, Chewy Paws. I remember watching it when I first came out. I was in class and it was independent time and was damn, what does bro have to complain about? Listen, they wanted him to go to school, okay? Can you imagine? Yeah, fuck real food and nutrients, give me Cliff Bars. Listen, everyone who says they starve will choose the Cliff Bars.
Apparently, it turns out, his nana and her husband were also abusive to Birdie. They all had fights with each other.
Again, somehow everyone in Birdie's life was abusive to them. Truly the victim of life.
He went back to the homeless shelter and then back to his parents' house.
And of course, the people at the homeless shelter were also abusive.
This is despite the fact his nana offered him her beach house to live in, which I imagine most people who were homeless would grasp that opportunity at the first time of asking. Now you may be thinking, why didn't Birdie just go to a friend's house, sleep over on the sofa?
Oh yeah, and Birdie couldn't take the beach house because there would be no one to take care of Birdie. And they are so severely disabled that they can't possibly live alone.
To be fair, an attempt was made, but its existence has only brought more accusations against Birdie.